Call this meeting to order. Please call the roll.
Councilman Camilleri?
Here.
Councilman Conti?
Here.
Councilman Halco?
Here.
Councilwoman Mazer?
Here.
Council President Samaluka?
Here, please stand to salute the flag.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Adequate notice of this meeting has been sent to all council members on May 30th, 2014, and to all legal newspapers in accordance with the provisions of the Open Public Meetings Act, Chapter 231, Public Law 1975.
The public is hereby advised that any statements made during a meeting of the Township Council of the Township of Saddlebrook may not be privileged or protected, and that persons or entities who take issue with such comments or are offended by same may have in the past sought legal redress through the courts. Any member of the public who addresses the council speaks for themselves and not for the council.
Okay, change order. We have some presentations. I believe the first one is going to go to our most recent fire chief, Robert Meyer. Bobby, you want to come up?
Sorry about my dress, everybody.
You look excellent. Very
You were at
handsome.
the field game, all right?
Very handsome man.
I don't want to be late.
You can, yeah.
Good evening, everyone. I'm proud here tonight to be here with our former fire chief, Mr. Robert Myers. His family has a history of volunteering in the Saddlebrook Police Department, and he left us as fire chief the end of January in 2013. And he's going to talk to you about how many years he served, maybe what was the most frightening experience, because I think I was involved with that when you were chief. But the reason he's here tonight is because we were supposed to have this presentation done at the end of January at the fireman's installation, and it wasn't available then. It's a flag that has flown over the White House, and it flew over in March of 2014. That's why we're a little late, and we're even later yet because his schedule is so busy with his family and still with the volunteer fire department that we're finally getting it together. So, our former fire chief, few words to the public, please.
Sure. I just want to say thank you to the mayor and council. The past 4 years as the assistant fire chief and fire chief in this town, the support from the township, the townspeople, everything is always a huge, huge contribution to what we do and how we do it. I can't say enough to everyone for what you guys help us out with in order to help you. Thank you.
Thank you. Robert Meyer, Jr., the flag of the United States of America. This is to certify that the accompanying flag was flown over the United States Capitol on March 10th, 2014. At the request of Honorable Cory Booker, United States Senator, this flag was flown for Robert Myers in honor of his service as Chief of the Saddlebrook Fire Department from January 1, 2012 to December 2013. And that office holder is the only person that can enact this by virtue of a mayor and other officials' request. So from the entire council, myself, and the heartfelt gratitude of the community of Saddlebrook, thank you for all your time and all your years, and I know you'll continue in your father's footsteps and grandpa's footsteps. And now since you have more muscle than I, you can pick this up. The box is in my office, if you'd like it, and the plastic is here.
This is beautiful. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Next presentations that we're going to have We, as mayor and council, oftentimes honor a lot of people, especially children, for special awards and things that they've done that merit attention, mostly for sports, to tell you the truth. The football team wins the Super Bowl and wrestling championships and whatnot. Tonight, we have presentations that are being made to children that have been accepted into the Bergen County Academies. You have to apply for that. It's very strict admission requirements, and it's tough to get into. So we felt it might be a nice thing for them to be acknowledged for what they've done. So I'll turn this over to the mayor. She has the names of the people that have been admitted into the academy schools. There's a couple of different academy schools.
Thank you, Council President. I'm proud here tonight again to represent the township, and I'd like to call Ms. Milchup, our guidance counselor for the middle school. And then we have a number of students here who have gone beyond the expectations, I imagine, of achievements with their families. And Ms. Milch will be conveying to the public the program, and then she will be calling up the students. And we would like the students, so be prepared, because I know you're ready. You're ready to go out there, face a new world, a different life, totally different situation, and with God's blessings and good health and the support of your family and your community, you will further go on to be the success stories that you are here tonight. And we're also very proud of you. So Ms. Milch will now speak of the program, the individuals. Please call them up one at a time. And the proclamations are forthcoming. I have special ones made up, and they didn't arrive on time, just like the flag didn't. So I will, if I have to personally deliver them to your houses, I certainly would be more than proud to do that. And then if there's any picture taking that you'd like to do, the families who brought cameras, we will have the families come up with each student also. We'll have all the students come up first. They can stay here, and then we'll group up with their families, and we'll do it consecutively. Thank you.
Okay, so many of the students, I'm probably loud enough without this. You want me to use it? Okay, okay. Many of the students are here, and some students couldn't make it. 2 girls had bought tickets 6 months ago for the opening of the Faults in Our Stars, or what is it called? The night before. So they would have loved to be here, but they couldn't. So the students that were accepted to Bergen County Academies and to Teterboro, the academies at Teterboro, are students who have worked very, very hard all through their elementary and middle school career. It was a grueling, I would say, application process. They had to go through a lot of steps. Some of them had to go through interviews, and they were successful, and we're very, very proud of them. So as I call your name, the ones of you that are here, I'll call all the names so it recognize the students that are not here. The students that were accepted to Bergen County Academies and Teterboro are Gina Chun. Come on up if you're here. Katie Dickey. Betsally Falconis. Cassidy is at the movies. Timothy Obiso. And Matthew Tishome. The students that were accepted to the academies at Englewood and Teterboro, that's one student, that's Shaylee Patel. She's also at the movies with Cassidy. And then the students accepted to Teterboro are Danielle Green, who is here, Jack Marr, Anthony Arroyo, and Trevor Antonucci.
If I may, let's sneak up here for the sake of the camera, so you can watch yourself on Channel 77 and the rest of your family. So come on, join us up here, please. Come on, big guy. You're taller than me, so. You know, I have to say this. I'm certain I've gone through the Saddlebrook school system, I was a graduate of Saddlebrook High School, proud to say. Never made it to college, but I had a happy family life. And I am who I am today because of the support of so many people as you have had. I know you worked hard, and I know there's many others out there who have graduated from Catholic schools, other schools very recently, and graduations coming up for our public schools next week. And there's others who also should be here and honored as well because they're moving on to further their education at a higher level. So with that being said, I sincerely offer my congratulations along with this group to those who are not present here tonight. But however, I'm going to ask, Timothy is on my Mayor's Youth Committee, and I'd like to have each of you say a few words to the public, whether it be about your family, your school achievements, the things you like to do best, what your thoughts are of the future. So I'm giving you a heads up, just so start thinking, and Tim gets chosen first because he happens to be on the committee. Lucky him, huh? Aren't you guys glad? So anything that you're comfortable with, because you know what? Saddlebrook people are truly interested in our youth because you are our future. Tim? Oh, and by the way, look into the camera and smile.
So, hi. The application process for me has been full of anxiety, worry, doubt, and a bunch of other mixed feelings of whether I get accepted or not. But with the effort that I and along with my family has put in, I can say that I would not be getting in if it wasn't for the support of my family members and they're pushing me to do my best in everything that I do and me pushing myself.
Hi, I'm Sally, and I'm not really good at making speeches, so I'm going to keep this short. Academies is it's always been my goal to go there because it's a really good school, and I probably wouldn't be there without the support of my family and my friends always pushing me on forward to do better than I know I can. I want to become a doctor when I get older in mental health, and yeah, all right.
My name is Catherine. I'm going for theater, so artsy fartsy sparkles. I've wanted to go to the academies since my cousin went 8 years ago. I saw her in her first play, and I fell in love with the school and their theater program and their arts program. So I'm just really excited to go there, and I'm so thankful for my family that they let me actually do this on my own and didn't try to help me at all, because that would have been really annoying. Thanks, Dad. But I'm just thankful for my friends for giving me good opportunities and making me think about things that happen in the world every day. And I'm just thankful for this entire opportunity and this experience.
Hello, I'm Gina, and I got into visual arts, and the way to this achievement was very, fun in some ways and difficult in some. But overall, I'd like to thank my family because they've supported me so much, and also my friends because they've also supported my choices that I've made, and also school administrators because they've also helped through my educational ways as well. And I believe I couldn't have gotten here without them. Thank you.
My name is Danielle. I went into tech for computer sciences. The whole application process was really confusing, and my dad helped me through most of that. And without basically him and my friends, Gina and Jack, I wouldn't have been able to actually get in. Because although Katie did help me, Although Katie did help me. She was a little, pushy sometimes.
She's turning red.
But I'm happy that I got in because it's a great opportunity to be able to learn a new experience.
Thank you.
I'm Jack, and I got accepted into their culinology program. My parents,
Technology program, Jack.
it's their original program for culinary mixed with the food science. So,
Your mom's going to appreciate that unless Dad does the cooking at home, huh? What do you think?
yeah. I'd really like to thank my parents for pressuring me to do well in school and distilling me to have a hardworking work ethic since I was young. And I'd also really like to thank my friends, and especially my sister Amanda, for she's really the one who got me really interested in this whole tech thing since she got accepted 2 years ago, and she's really helped guided me through this experience. So she's not here today because she had to go to work, but
That's a good thing.
All right. My name's Matt, and I got accepted into AAST, which is Advancement of Science and Technology. To be honest, if it weren't for my parents who told me about Bergen Academy, I probably would not have been even applying to Bergen Academy. Without their support and their help, I probably would be wasting my future. And now that I've gone through the hard application process, all I can say is that I can't waste this opportunity that's been given to me.
Thank you, and I hope everybody realizes I've had experiences with other students who have been fortunate enough to get into the academies. It's not an easy task. It takes high grades, never mind the application process. It's the whole challenge of the intellectual level that you students decided to choose that path to go on. And I think it's great that we can reach out to the community by virtue of the TV, because you will be the goal setters for those youth that are under your age group. You will be their inspiration. You will make them feel, if they watch this, or their parents watch this, or their grandparents or family members watch it, to say, you know what? I can do this. This is someplace somebody is suggesting to me, and I can do it, because here you are representing the future of what not only you can do, but of the younger generation, what they can do. So heartfelt congratulations. My apologies on not having my piece of paper to hand to each of you, but it'll be a little more than that, because I know you're going on a great endeavor, and I know you'll do well. Last night was my grandson's 8th grade graduation. Yes, this evening I have to say I saw tears in the eyes of some moms. I can follow those footsteps because that was me last night. The pride is just overwhelming. So let's have a hand from you students to your parents, please. Now, if we move along this way, we'll have your parents come up, your family, so everyone can see who the support systems are. Come on, families, come on up and join your children. You worked hard. Where's my guidance counselor? She ran away on me, right?
Politician, isn't he? Timmy.
Yeah, I know. Isn't he a lot?
He's running for August.
So does anyone have any cameras here they want to give the people in the audience to take pictures? but we're proud to present our future. And if anyone, any of the parents would like to speak out and say something about your child, here you go.
Timmy, I'm very, very proud of you. I'm proud of all you guys. You've got a great opportunity in front of you. This is the beginning. Make the most of it. Here you go.
Pass it up. Here you go.
I've been requested not to speak.
Yeah, I'm sorry. We have to- I'm so proud of my daughter, and it's a happy time right now. Thank you, all of them.
Sure. It's a long, anxiety-filled process, very stressful at times, but without your grades, Danielle, none of it would have mattered, so thanks.
We just want to say congratulations to all of you guys. It's a great accomplishment, and give it all you got.
I'm proud of my son. This time I want to thank the Franklin school teachers who encouraged Matthew to do well in the class since elementary school, and encourage him every time and expect him more so that he can achieve more. So I want to thank them in public at this time, and congratulations to everyone.
Okay, this is Saddlebrook. This is our future. These are the families that make it happen. Again, congratulations from preschool to kindergarten to 6th grade to 8th grade to the high school and the college graduates of the Township of Saddlebrook. God bless again, everyone, and good health to you and your families and lots of success. And thank you for joining us this evening so that you can be the future of the youth of tomorrow and send the message to the younger generation once again. Thank you. God bless.
We're going to take a short 2-minute break in case anyone wants to leave or take pictures outside. And we'll be back to business in a 2.
Oh, I'm waiting for you, Andrew. Peter Punzo, 608 North Midland Avenue. April 29th, I believe it was a zone, I had a planning board meeting. We had a very, very, very heavy rainstorm. That meeting, Mr. Cost had actually left the meeting to go check on the flooding by my house. I hadn't been able to speak to him since. That night when I returned home, I returned to 10 inches of rainwater in my basement. My yard was completely flooded from fence to the house. Unbeknownst to me, after 3 days of unflooding the basement, my sump pump had gone. My sump pump never stops. We can have 17 days of sun, it does not stop. It burnt out. In the process of cleaning out, I lost 2 washing machines this time, my dryer, and a 6-foot stand-up Frigidaire freezer that cost me $1,000 7 years ago. Those appliances are shot. I called my insurance company. They do not pick me up because of the sump pump. Since then, I put it on my insurance now. I'm still at about $3 grand worth of appliances, and I went and purchased 2 backup pumps now. We have to do something. I can't go through this anymore, okay? I'm not here to argue with you guys. I'm not here to fight you. I'm not here to blame you guys because it's been for the past 15 years. We had a project going. I had a project with Jerry Frieda in the previous administration. Unfortunately, things have changed. That project is no longer in process. With that project, it was down to about 30% of getting the flood. The Mosquito Commission was involved. We were supposed to do a lot of dredging. We were supposed to put the dirt somewhere. We were supposed to go down a park. Mola got involved. The project went to a bust. I don't know if, it just seems between Rosario Court and that stream, this is where it's ending up. It's just, I'm the last spot here. We have to come up with something that will either bypass me or we block it. And I know I threaten you guys with the cement, but maybe that's the answer, that we cement it in and just stop it coming to the yard. Because now that the zoning board approved that project across the street from me, which I'm not an objective to, I didn't even go to a meeting. I went to the one meeting about the flooding. They approved it. They're using that stream as a runoff now. I'm done. They put that project in, I'm done. My house, I'm done. Because I'm not gonna get the water that was coming in now. I'm getting all that runoff now into that stream. It ends up literally in my yard. And if my property wasn't situated the way it was, this flood would make it to Mr. Conti's house. That's how much water I get. We have to, I gotta do something, guys. I mean, I got wall, it just sits. We're talking 200 feet of water, 3 feet deep. I can't do it anymore. You know, I don't mind it in the yard, but once it reaches my house, you know, I'm going for bucks now. Now it's costing me money. You know, I gotta go replace my washing machine, my dryer, and the freezer. And unfortunately, the freezer compressor went, I thought it was running, the fan was running. I opened up 3 days later, it was a heat box. Everything in 3 days, my house stunk, that I had to air out my house with this. Not to mention all the damage from the water. You know, I don't know, we gotta come up with something, we gotta work on something. I mean, I know I said it to you, we've spoken 100 times about maybe blocking those cement things in. I mean, I don't know, maybe that's the answer, to block it from my yard, because I'm just like, I'm the dump zone. You know what I mean? It ends up in me, and unfortunately, because of the way the ground is, it just sits. My yard will take a heavy rainstorm, because I watched it. Once those catch basins come in, they're 2 or 3 feet higher than the yard, so then it takes time to go drain. And again, I don't mind it. I would love it to stay like that. I'd put fish in it. I'd be fishing in it all day long. But once it reaches the house, this is where the problem is. You know, I've had my neighbor want to give me dirt to level it. I make it a level playing field. That's it. I'm done even more. I don't know what to do. You know what I mean? The yard's pitched, and unfortunately, Mr. Kelly's lot in the back pitches up this way. So it just sits perfectly in my yard. You know, we got to do something.
Right,
Because
so,
we're getting more and more rain lately.
PJ, I'm gonna just take just informal consensus. We will authorize Mr. Costa to take a look at it and give us a formal report next month, please. Okay.
Yeah, he did. He actually left the meeting that night. He did. He went to the meeting, he went to my house that night, but I hadn't seen him since.
I had believed that the situation was taken care of with a neighboring business next door
Solano's?
in the culvert.
Mayor,
yes.
we,
Yes,
yes.
correct.
Here's, just to put a few things in perspective. As far as what was approved, there is no outlet from that approval into the ditch. They're creating a
Oh, they
large-
didn't give me approval?
No, they did get approved, but there is no pipe, hard connection to that ditch. It's just a detention pond that actually seeps into the ground, so that will not affect you.
It's not
during
flowing
storms.
into that stream?
Is not.
Oof, thank God, all right.
Just to clarify that for the record. As far as what happens in your backyard, and again, we've had meetings at the county. There was a project years ago.
Right.
The county actually.
They pulled out, right?
They were, actually, it was them, and they hired Birdsall in order to do the work. There's a few problems. Largest problem is that you have a transmission line in North Midland with PSE&G. When Fairlawn did their 48-inch pipe for their flooding, they stopped at the end of Arcadia Way in North Midland. And they cannot get that pipe through, and they haven't tied it into the ditch. Going underneath the railroad is a 30-inch pipe. That's it. That's what drains that entire area. We went in, we did some work in there, we cleaned all the debris out of there. And Mike Calderon, they checked that prior to any storm to make sure there's no debris in there to keep
Right,
a clear
I
channel.
understand that,
And
right.
that night, I was there with Mike.
Right, you had
That
left the
channel
meeting.
was flowing perfectly. The problem is, that channel is probably 2 feet higher than the culvert in North Midland. So it has to go 2 feet uphill in order to get through there. So that water has to build up to that level before you even get flow in there. So what happens, when it's a big storm, there's only an 18-inch pipe that crosses North Midland. So you have a 48-inch pipe going into an 18.
Into an 18, right, and it goes
the
back
rest of
into
it
18 in my yard, right.
is diverted into your backyard.
Right.
That's what happens. And unless you get a larger pipe to pick up the 48-inch and put a new connection underneath the railroad, this problem is not going to go away.
I
You
mean-
need more than one jurisdiction. You need Fairlawn on board, you need Elmwood Park on board, obviously Saddlebrook was on board, and the county. And we've
Well, I know
had-
there was a lot of resistance from Mola because he didn't want the water in Elmwood Park. That I understand.
He doesn't want the water.
Right.
And actually, with the county, we came up with what I thought would have been a solution to take that water and get it directly to the, obviously, the Passaic River. You're talking a large project, and I think that would probably fly with Elmwood Park, but you're talking
No, I
major
understand,
dollars, and the county has not come up to the plate.
But even re-dredging that whole stream, you think, would that work?
I thought.
Because that was the project we had with the mosquito
Again, I
commission.
thought this would have given you some relief. That night, that storm was.
Oh, no, right.
Was
Listen,
tremendous.
I understand that, but if there was something to correct it, I wouldn't have to worry about it. You know what I mean? I understand the heavy rainstorm, but my yard will take a heavy rainstorm. When it comes in those basins, I'm done.
Well,
I'm
what
done.
What I'll do tomorrow, I'll certainly go out there with Mike. We'll go to that property owner, because the stream actually, it's not
Well,
really a
I've
stream, it's a
been there
ditch.
with
We've
you
been
and
there.
Mike.
Well, right, when you
Yes.
come to
I've
Midland
been there.
Avenue, you could walk, I mean, there's this much flowing water in the middle of it. It's all overgrown. Now,
The
years
problem
ago.
is that culvert on Midland Avenue is basically 1 foot by 10 foot wide. It doesn't have a concrete bottom.
Right, it's not dug out.
It's
There's
not-
nothing
it
there
has a-
anymore.
It has a mud bottom, similar to some other culverts that are in town. That's the issue.
Because we were considering, through Charlie Cerrone and myself, the previous administration, about dredging that ourselves. We had okay for the dirt, we had okay to put the dirt someplace, and we were actually gonna do it with our own machinery. But that went to pass also, because the mosquito commission got involved. Because they said
Yeah.
that to check, anything with the
But-
river has gotta be checked with mosquito commission.
If I may, since all of the flooding issues have become so exacerbated in the past few years with the hurricanes and the tropical storms, it's my understanding now the DEP and the Mosquito Commission have lifted quite a few of those requirements. And I'm hoping that our engineer will be able to tell us, PJ, that lift on those restrictions would apply there.
Would open up.
Because I find it unacceptable that we have to wait for other governing bodies.
Oh, yeah.
You know, whether it be the county, whether it be Elmwood Park, whether it be this mosquito commission. It's unacceptable. 15 years, and I don't remember how long ago it was that you bought the house.
15 years, yeah.
15 years ago. That in 15 years, I mean, this is a problem. It's not like it's the Saddle River. It's a 15-year
No,
problem for one resident. There has to be, and maybe because it's the female in me, but I always feel as a woman, there's no problem that can't be solved in a short period of time. And if I'm taking up PJ's amount of time, I apologize, Andrew.
That's all right.
Hope you give it back to him. But this is something, and I don't blame you for being here, we've worked on, we've tried to, and I just find anything I'm hearing unacceptable. So I'm saying that publicly, Rob.
No problem. What I'll
So,
do.
Rob, you gotta take care of it. You know how to get in touch with PJ, plus report back, so everybody knows what's going on.
Okay, I'll
next
put
week.
together some sketches.
Yeah,
so-
maybe if we could just get that dredged out a little bit better, you know what I mean, and make it a
I'll
real
reach out.
stream, that may
I
hold
will
what's
reach
coming in
out
the
for them.
yard.
For some reason, I don't know, I can't send email, because normally I would send an email right from here to the county engineer, to Christos, the drainage engineer, and say, we need to meet, and maybe what we need to do is get that culvert
Just a little
cleaned
bit
out.
better out, right, than what it is,
No
and not
problem. That-
overgrown in all the
I
dirt.
will- I've done it in the past, and I will do this tomorrow morning.
You know?
Thank you, PJ.
Thank you.
Hi, Sylvia Zattarelli, 232 Lanza Ave. First, is there, on the grant that you guys are getting for the recreation, is there a deadline on that as to when this all has to be done?
It's gotta be in place by the end of December. Doesn't have to be built, but it has to, you know, I think it's gotta be shovel-ready and plans in place, and
So-
you may even have to break ground before December 31st.
Okay, but there's a little time to wiggle here and not make rush decisions?
Well,
Correct?
December 31st, it's gotta be, well, plans take time, but December 31st, to answer your question.
Okay. Well, I hope you guys do take your time and not rush since we have till December 31st. But on another note, our garbage collection, is there any way that the garbage collection time by Franklin School can be rerouted? They come between 8:30 and 8:45 in the morning when people are trying to drop their kids off of school. The crossing guard is trying to direct traffic. People are trying to get in and out of it's a zoo. It's a nightmare, and they stop at every single house to collect garbage.
Well, I live a block from Wong School, so we have the same thing. Why don't we, Pete, if you
I'll
can
give them a
contact
call.
them to try
Stay
and
away from this.
coordinate with Smith, Franklin, Washington.
Just for the
all
drop-off
all
or
schools.
pickup times. I mean, you have all day to do it. So, that's it. Thank you.
Thank you. I mean, if I forget, just report back next month after you talk to them.
Howard Rafalski, 520 Victor Street. Through the chair, I have a few questions for the mayor. Most of them are just yes or no answers. Okay? First question, Mayor, is Saddlebrook a civil service town?
Yes.
Good. See, it's easy. I won't even take the 10 minutes. When you were previously on the council, or first elected mayor, were you given a civil service ID number?
Not to my knowledge.
Not if you're not good.
Sorry, I couldn't answer yes
That's
or
okay.
no. I'd rather be truthful and honest.
Good.
Not to my knowledge.
How
If
long
you'd
were
like
you?
me to check it, I will.
Okay, fine. For the next meeting, that's okay. How long were you out of the political office?
8 years.
When you returned as the mayor of Saddlebrook, well, I'd like to know if you have a civil service ID number now?
Not to my knowledge.
I guess I'm going to ask the last question, but you can't answer it. Please explain your years of service. If you had a break in service, let me get this right. Please explain how your years of service are consecutive with the break between terms.
I was elected in 1985. I've served as mayor. My first term as mayor was 5 years. I believe it was 85,
5
correct?
years.
I've been a little over 20 years. I think I hit the 20-year mark in July.
Great.
And
Not consecutive.
Not consecutive. You had asked me that question.
Not consecutive. You have 20 years, but not consecutive.
Right, you had asked me how many years I was out, and I asked and answered, yes, sir.
So next month, you will have the other answer.
I'm sorry?
Next month,
Next month?
you said you're going to have, you'll have an ID number?
No, I didn't say I would have an ID number. I said I would find out any information
Okay. For next
regarding
meeting.
your request this evening, whether I had a civil service number, because my answer to you was, to my knowledge, right now,
You still don't?
I don't know.
Thank
No.
you.
You're welcome.
2 minutes, less than 2 minutes. Thanks.
Larry Ratajczak, 92 Claremont. Maybe I'll ask through the chair to Pete. Pete, do any of the council members have civil service numbers of the elected officials?
Honestly, I have no idea because I don't handle civil
Can we
service.
find out for next meeting? Mayor, the other thing, through the chair to the mayor, at the work session, your phone went off 3 times. I thought we went through this already, that we shut the phones off when you come in. It's very unprofessional. If we're going to do it in the audience here, I believe that you people up there should do it also. About the field, I spoke to you asking you not to rush into the field, take a good look at what we have. You have two really field options that we run here. The high school field, I'm going to tell you what it has, what its good points are to look at. It has stands, it has a press box, it has a refreshment stand, has bathrooms, has a track, has parking, and it has locker rooms if we ever had inclement weather, lightning or anything like that. We could put the players in there. What do we have at Sampson, or veterans, whatever you want to call it? The thing that the high school field needs is turf, drainage, and lights. Okay? And we'd have a much better facility than what we would over there. With all of this money that we're going to spend, look how many things we're not going to have. I mean, it's like a major league field and a minor league field. Prospect, Andrew, you know you work out of it. Where would you rather work out of, the high school or veterans? Announce a game. I mean, it's a no-brainer. So like I say, let's not rush into that. Let's try to sit down with the Board of Ed and try to get the town to work together as one entity instead of two. And we're wasting our money on a lot of things and doubling up on a lot of things. The other thing, last month, that new employee that received that raise, or you reclassified him or whatever, is he considered a new employee? New employee?
No.
He's not, let me ask you this, was he part of the DPW? Was he part of the DPW?
My understanding he was, yes.
Prior to that?
My understanding
No,
he
he
was.
was
He
not.
in the
Well,
union. He had
I'll
no
give
vote.
you an understanding, he was not part of the DPW.
Well-
He was not in that union, okay, and that job was not advertised. Like we said, we're a civil service town. The jobs have to be advertised in the proper way. Everything we do here is illegal, because we've been doing that way, like you like to say, in the past.
After you asked that, I asked him, were you a member of the union?
Well, I
And did
checked
you
with the
have a
union, and he's
vote?
not. He was
And
not.
he said yes?
He was not.
Yes.
Well, like I say, we'll have to get to the bottom of it. Do the research that I did, and you'll find out the correct answer.
So you-
Go
so
right
you're
to the
asking me a
union.
question, you already know the
Go
answer?
to the, I told you I do that. That's what I do. And I want to see you lie and how incompetent you
I told
are.
you exactly what
Well,
happened.
you can't go ask him, because of course he's going to say he was.
And
He
you know,
was
and who
not.
your can I just ask you who your source was?
Don't worry about it.
Oh, okay.
Anonymous,
Okay.
anonymous.
Your anonymous
Hard
source.
work, Andrew, hard work.
Anonymous source, okay.
Like I said,
I'll
last
call
week
your
too, you got a little
anonymous source. No problem.
sarcastic
Larry, if that's
when
the
you
way
talked
it is.
about the TO.
That's
You
the
said
way it
it's
is.
32 or
Anonymous.
34, whether you like it or
No
not.
problem.
You don't have to be sarcastic.
I'm not being
Be
sarcastic.
be
Your anonymous
professional.
source.
Be professional.
We're gonna
Okay.
talk about your
Now, let me
anonymous
ask you
source.
something. Is the TO for the police department, is it 34 or 32?
I believe it's 34.
And you're
The
changing
TO,
it?
Understand, TO, up to 34.
Is it 34 and you're changing it to up to 32? In the ordinance? No, you're not, because that's what you told me last month. You told me it was 32 whether I like it or not. So you have to get your facts straight.
But Larry, this is not a quiz.
I know
This
it's
is
not a
32
quiz,
or
Andrew, but
34.
no, you got to
It's
tell me the
32 or
right
34.
answers.
It's in
Andrew,
writing.
you're telling me 32 last
Is it
month,
32?
whether I like it or not. And I didn't like it because it was an
Is it
incorrect
32
answer.
or 34? Do you know? You did the research.
Exactly,
Is it?
so you
What is
should
it?
know, you're the council president.
What is it?
You're running the town.
You tell me.
Up to 34, just like you said tonight.
Up to
Last week you
34.
said, also, you said Beckton, Carlstadt spent $10 million on a field, 10 million. Tuesday night, we lost 5 million. You said it only costs 5 million now. What is it, 10 or 5?
I said it was 2 fields they did.
No, you said 10 million last week.
That's your
Andrew,
recollection.
watch the tape, that's what you gotta do.
Okay, do your
Okay, because like I say, you guys like to babble things. Before, when you used to give answers, they all stuck. Now, nothing sticks. Okay? Through the chair, Mayor, when you cut the bus drivers' hours, okay, did you also cut services to the seniors, like eliminate a day or eliminate certain hours?
No, I did not.
You did not, okay, so everything they can do it on Fridays, and they can book doctor's appointments after 1 o'clock and everything, like they used to in the past?
What was not applicable and not needed was not done. So therefore, that sufficed the cut in the
Okay,
hours.
now, is anybody else driving the bus besides Ernie? Any DPW workers or anything like that driving that bus?
Yes.
Yeah, there are, okay, now, do you know, Ernie is an older guy, you replaced him with a younger guy. You know what age discrimination
Okay,
is?
do not answer that. This is in litigation now,
Okay.
so you can't answer.
But you do know what that is, right? And that's a perfect slam dunk to cost us another $400,000 out of your, like I say, vindictiveness and stuff like that you do.
Well, the record should reflect that that's merely the opinion of one of the residents and doesn't represent this board's decision.
Well,
So-
we'll see what happens
so
in the future,
transcript-
Mr.
the
Mielstack. We'll see.
transcript- The transcript of this meeting.
Come to the court.
Should be real clear. Well, would you
Okay.
like to see that?
No, Mr. Mielstack, I'm not speaking to you
Would you
right
like
now,
to see
like I
that?
say.
Is that what you're?
On the budget, he's not here tonight, there's a $150,000 temporary appropriation. What's gonna happen when we use that 150 to pay the tax appeals off? We're gonna be short $150,000 off the budget. We don't have the money to pay for the raises for the 2% and the 3% of the total payroll that we're giving out. So that's also another shortage, okay? What I'm gonna say is, you people and everybody knows that the budget is deficient, okay? There's not enough money appropriated to run the town. There's gonna be a certain amount of people that are gonna be back here next year, okay? And what we have bad habits of doing is leaving the next people coming in way underground where they can't dig themselves out. But if you vote yes and you return next year, you better be able to explain to the residents why we're not going to get a double-digit tax increase. Because there's absolutely no way, we're going to starve and we're going to choke the town this year coming up and do nothing. And then the following year, we're going to do everything. And we're going to have millions of dollars deficient. But like I say, okay. These were the things that I'd like to you on. What should be the consequences that we should look for as residents? Like I say, when you people ran on your ticket, I did get elected. That's how you got elected. There's no doubt. People. What is Mr. Hacko?
I have no idea. Just touch the microphone. No. There, that's it.
Because
But
it'll
you
go
want something?
it'll be all blank.
No, it's not.
Okay. We lied about a healthcare ordinance. We knew it never existed. We knew it, and we just kept pawning us off, stalling us. We amended a petition or an ordinance that didn't exist. Okay, there's no healthcare ordinance. But you amended our petition, and then you amended the healthcare ordinance that you say existed to grandfather yourselves in. The mayor said when she was given the paperwork on the elimination of the deputy chiefs, she said she checked, and it was illegal to do it. It's not illegal to do it. We had an attorney sitting right here that represented another town and won, but he kept his mouth shut too. Not you, Mr. Mulsack. Okay. There was also, the mayor said we couldn't hire cops because there was an NAACP lawsuit. Didn't exist. There was no lawsuit. Previous administration hired 12 police officers. She just used that as a stalling tactic. Let's see. We lied about the money to hire the cops. We had no money. We had money to hire 3 cops. Then it came time to hire the 3 cops. We didn't have any money. A couple of weeks later, we had the money. Okay? It's another thing. Mayor, I asked the mayor, do the police come right on the street when they come out of the academy? He said they do. They don't come on the street right away. They ride around for a month, 6 weeks with another officer. So we didn't have that. Like I say, you got to know what you're talking about. About the Mayhill project, we had papers and statements made from the engineer because you were rushing him. It was certified, it was inspected, and everything else. It was still under construction.
Thank you, Mr. Itocho.
Okay, no, I'm going to take the time that we gave Mr. Punzo,
No, you're
which
not.
was 13 minutes.
No, you're not.
Okay.
right.
We lied about the
Mr.
pump
Itocho,
station last week.
Your time is up. If you don't
We
stop,
said that-
I'm asking you politely, step away from the microphone. Your time is up.
Okay, but I'm going to take what everybody
not.
else did. Yes, I am.
You're not.
Yeah,
You're not.
like I said,
Okay.
we lied about the pump
Stop the
station.
meeting right now. Call the police. I have them removed. I'm sorry.
Andrew, you're kidding me, all right?
I'm absolutely not kidding.
You can't let one resident speak for 13 minutes and then another one 10.
Don't tell me
Not
that.
with a 10-minute rule, Andrew. And like I
Are
said,
you
in 2
stopping
years,
now? I
in
won't
2
call the
years,
police.
your time is coming.
Okay, yes, thank you. And congratulations to your daughter for her achievements, by the way, which I was going to say until you stepped away. Okay, meeting is back. Don't worry. Anybody else want to address the council? Tap the mic a little before you start.
Lou Verrilli, 476 Victor Street. Not a question, but I got a situation going on 5th Street. I live right on the corner of 5th and Victor, right where you had that curve in the road. And that curve has plenty, a lot of bumps and what have you, a couple little potholes and other things like that. When you get these 16-wheelers coming down between Market Street and 46, they come flying by, the house rumbles. The guy across the street from me at, I think it's 470 Victor, He's got the same problem. He wrote a letter. He didn't know who to send it to. He just sent it in. These trucks go by, the houses start shaking. I mean, they're going through that fast, a lot of them. A lot of them go 40, 50, 60 miles an hour. And that's been going on. I'm there 31 years. But like I said, right now, it's causing damage to our homes. I have the one bedroom that's closest to the street. I got a big crack in a wall, and I got a big crack going across the entire ceiling. My neighbor across the street, he's got the same thing. He's got one of his ceilings cracked, and his house is built on a slab, and the slab is starting to crack. So I was wondering if there's any way we can either smooth that area out or stop, get something going to keep them in line or what have you.
Is there a dip in the road?
Up, down, up, down. It's not potholes, just not even.
I'm just going to defer to
We're preparing plans for that section because we received a state grant for $150,000. And also with the water main project that's going to take place on North Fifth in that section. That's also, we're just waiting to hear back on the permit from NJDEP, which I'm hoping it should be within the next, I would say, 2 weeks, 3 weeks tops. And then that project will be out on the street. So this will be temporary. When I say temporary, I mean, it could go on for, say, a month or so, or maybe 2 months tops, but that is definitely in motion. All of Fifth, so if you talk to your neighbors, we actually, the mayor and myself, met a woman on the same street, same issue, same problem. I understand what's going on out there. Maybe the police at this point can try to monitor it to slow these trucks down.
Yeah, that'd be a good idea. That was the next thing I was going to
Right.
say. You want to start, you can go crazy over there, because you got the hook in the road, and these people don't even know how to drive that. They're coming off Market Street, and then you got to bear a little bit to your left. They go straight, so they go right into the oncoming lane. There's a lot of morons out there.
See, on a lot of the side roads, we can put that speed sign that the VFW had donated, but there's no parking,
Right.
On Fifth Street, so we can't do that, so we'll,
Well, I'm saying that this council authorized this work to take place, and again, we're waiting on two things. One is a permit from the state, and then if the financing is coming out of NJDP also for low-interest financing on that. So it is absolutely in motion.
All right.
And it'll definitely be this year, no question about it.
and we'll advise the police, obviously, if it's 40 to 50 miles an hour and a 25 mile an hour zone.
Oh, you got a lot of that crap going on there, even cars go flying.
So we'll advise the police that there's been, at least one resident complaints about speeding on Fifth Street, which is a major throughway.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, from Market to 46, yes. Thank you. Anybody else? Entertain a motion to close? Need a motion.
Second.
No, Mr. Camilleri got second. Mr. Conti, Mr. Camilleri, all in favor? Meeting is now closed to the public. We got council, they usually tell, you want to talk about events that are coming on or anything you want to address the public?
Yes, we have our annual fireworks, July 3rd. And also, we have our fishing contest on June 28th, beginning at 9 o'clock, Saddlebrook Park, 9 to 12. Kiwanis sponsor it. They do a fantastic job, the volunteer group once again. And immediately preceding, with an hour's time in between, from 1 to 5 will be the Township picnic, which I'm hoping everyone will attend and they'll be invited to. On June 13th, I'm proud to say we will be celebrating 25 years of another fireman, a volunteer in town, Kevin Kustra, so congratulations to Kevin on that. 25 years of volunteerism. We also have coming forward, besides the fishing contest in master plan, is coming up on the 17th, where Planning Board has been working on re-examining, and I'm publicly inviting everyone to attend that meeting. It has to do with rezoning. They've worked at numerous meetings there and have made many achievements, and I think it's in the best interest of the future that if you could come out that evening to join the Planning Board. And don't forget that this Saturday, June 8th, those unfortunate individuals that are afflicted with Lou Gehrig's disease, we have the Walk for ALS. Registration is 10 o'clock, so if you haven't registered already, you can still register. And 11 o'clock starts the walk. It's a very moving, a very touching, and I think it's something that the entire community should get involved in. And when I talk about the entire community, I would like to make a statement here this evening. At Tuesday night's meeting, and I say this with pride, I'm not saying it to offer an explanation to anyone or to offer any apologies. I am a mother of 2 children, a grandmother of 6 grandchildren, and 2 future, maybe, other grandchildren. My priorities in life are motherhood, grandmotherhood, mayor, friends. Tuesday evening, I had a choice of coming to my work session or being immediately available for my grandchildren. I do not trust technology with putting my phone on vibrate, so therefore, I had a little whistle sound because I was needed by my grandchildren. And you can ask the council, I left immediately, and that's where I belong. So to the public, no matter what criticism ever comes to you, always remember that your family is first. And anyone that says anything different has to take another outlook on life. Now, most importantly, as mayor, I get many comments.
Excuse me.
Many opinions about policing within the community. We've heard it here this evening about Fifth Street with the speed. We've heard it about truck trafficking. We've dealt with problems in neighborhoods with additional stop signs, no left turn signs. And we were deficient in the police department in the past, where the goal is to achieve to build it up so that we are served and protected. The point I'm getting to now, in addition to these comments from the public to the mayor's office, is of very importance to the general public. And I think the statement I am making, I'm directing it to the parents of the Saddlebrook community and whatever local township picks up this channel. I think parents have to become more responsible for their teenage youth and those a few years younger. We have had incidences at Smith School Fields. We have had 11-year-old children alcohol overdose at another park in town. We have had damage to residents' homes that are by the fields and by parks. We've had to lock and gate behind Coolidge School, where families, fathers would like to go out and practice ball with their sons. Now the county has come in, put the locks up, put the gates up, the county police are back there. We have a massive problem in this town with teenagers, and I have been out there myself to learn to find out it's not just Saddlebrook children. Many are from out of town. Many parents bring their children to the malls, and myself, along with the police, when we gathered up groups of 50, questioned them, how'd you get here? My parents brought me to the mall. How'd you get here? We walked. In this day of technology, the text is whatever is out there by virtue of the phones. They're able to communicate and gather in groups. We have had recent complaints, the speeding on the mopeds, dangerous. And the other item I'd like to mention to the public, to the parents, to the educators, to all of us here present, language. We have residents being intimidated by threats of fire to their homes. They are being cursed at with indespicable words. So my plea to the public, to the police department, to anyone out there that sees groups that are exceeding the boundaries of respectability, please let us know. Let the police know. And again, I ask the parents, please, even though that's a TV commercial, do you know where your children are at 10 o'clock? And we instituted the 10 o'clock curfew. It became quite effective. I'm almost getting to the point where I'm ready to ask the council to do a 9 o'clock curfew. Because now that the spring, summer came in, okay, the parents, all of us were crazy this year with the snows. I mean, we were like prisoners in our homes. So if we as adults feel that way, imagine our children. Now they're out there, and I'm saying a small percentage. It just takes one bad apple, and it's only small. Our town is great kids. We witnessed it here this evening, but there's few little groups out there that the parents need to take the lead. Speak to them, know where they are. If they're grouping in more than 10 or 20, because now it's building up to groups of 50, it scares me. And as your mayor, I feel responsible, and I feel that this message is so important to get out to everyone. So please, pass it along, and again, parents, we have a problem, and I'm hoping we can all pay attention and do the right parenting so that people don't have to be intimidated to either call the police, intimidated for foul language, intimidated because their houses may be set fire, or because their fences are down. We need your help, parents. Thank you. I've taken a lot of time, Andrew, but I thought that was a very important message. It's been an ongoing situation since spring is sprung, so thank you for the time.
Joe, we're on council comments. We'll do new and old business after ordinances and resolutions.
Yeah, I would just like to congratulate all the students that were in here for their excellent achievements, and I wish that each and every one of them fulfill their dreams, because that is what life is about. So congratulations to them.
Richard?
Same thing, I want to congratulate all the students. I know it's very difficult, and the parents should be proud. So, thank you.
Well,
I'd like to congratulate all the students that are graduating from preschool to grad school. I'm proud of all of you. Thank you.
yeah.
Okay. First, I'd like to congratulate everybody here this evening. It was the students, they did a good job. It was well-deserved and well-earned. I just want to make the mayor and council aware that John Cook and I serve on a community development committee, and this year we were awarded $25,000 in a block grant for the senior center clerk for their salary, just to make the council aware. The other thing, I want to thank George Kawadi. He's our normal cameraman filming the council meetings. When George can't make it, my son fills in, and he gets community service hours. I was handed this evening, and I really don't appreciate this. On an individual's website, he writes, "However, I don't believe I'll be seeing that happening, as Mr. Halko would worry I throw a picture in a picture of a crying baby forcing his son to no longer volunteer like his predecessor." So whatever that means, I am the one that is running for election, not my 15-year-old son. Don't bring him into this. I'd appreciate that. It's very disrespectful, all right? The kids are not involved. Grow up. You're an adult. You shouldn't put things like that about a child, 15-year-old kid, on your stupid website. Thank you.
First thing, about 10, 11 days ago, we had our Memorial Day Parade. Once again, obviously, thank you to the veterans. And it was great to see the town come out Streets were lined with kids and adults alike. Everyone seemed to have a very good time. With that in mind, tomorrow is the 70th anniversary of D-Day, our invasion of Normandy, Omaha Beach. And again, thank you to the veterans. With that being said, June 14th is Flag Day, so everyone display your colors proudly. In terms of the kids, obviously, we have to congratulate them and all the children that are going to be graduating. I think middle school is June 18th. High school is June 19th. I was honored to once again be asked to be a chaperone for the project graduation. To all the parents out there whose children are graduating high school and will be attending the project graduation, I think it's going to be a late year this year, and the whole purpose of that is to keep the kids from just going a little nutso on graduation night, drinking, driving, and getting into accidents and harming themselves and others. So we're just asking the parents to just monitor the kids. I know it's a big day for them, but they don't have to be driving down the shore at 3 o'clock in the morning. They can drive at 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock. So we're just asking you to be careful. We'd rather you not have the kids have their cars at the high school, so this way they can get off the bus and just hop in their cars. That's exactly what we don't want to happen. So if you could, please try and convince your children, keep the cars away. You can pick them up. I know it's an inconvenience to get them at 2, 3 in the morning, but if you can, please do, because one life saved is just an amazing thing. We got something in our package here. Once again, Fairlawn Memorial Pool is open this summer, and Saddlebrook residents can use that pool. Fees are $325 for the full season for a family. An individual is $160. It opens on June 25th. It's open from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. You can contact either Fairlawn or call Pete over at Town Hall for any information. Just reflecting on some things that were said, there wasn't an NAACP lawsuit, and there is a consent decree. So to say that the lawsuit does not exist is just not true. In terms of the field, I am a proponent for the field. I'm not saying that I'm not a proponent. I just wanted to for those people who say, well, go someplace else. Well, there are no plans on the table from the Board of Ed for turfing their field. There's nothing there right now. And just so we're aware, purchasing Veterans Field property, just so we know, it cost $5.8 million for this town to buy the property. Whatever it took to put up whatever's there cost whatever. So we're talking about $6 million, $7 million for the field. To just say we don't want to spend money on this now and we'd rather just go someplace else, what are you doing with that? Plus, this is recreation field. Certainly it's for the children, but we have to realize that recreation, the Board of Ed properties, Board of Ed, the high school and the grade school teams, they have priority. So on the football field, they would have priority. The soccer high school field would have priority. High school, lacrosse, whatever it is, they would have priority. This is our one real large field that we would use for, I think we talked about softball, Babe Ruth, soccer, lacrosse, football, track. I mean, it is what it is. In a perfect world, like I said, and again, I'll reiterate, 8 years ago, 10 years ago, whenever this was done, I said, yes, let's get together and do something at the high school. $6 or $7 million was spent on Veterans Field. We're not going to abandon a $6, $7 million property. We are getting a $400,000 grant. We have money put aside for this to match it. We are seeking other grants. Is it going to cost money? Yes, like everything costs money. I remember a very wise man coming up to the stand a few months ago saying, spend the money. Spend the money, it's for our kids. You know what? I have no problem spending that money. I will go through ordinances.
First ordinance on the agenda is ordinance number 1572-14. Public hearing's been held. It was just a motion tonight to either adopt or table. the council's
Okay,
pleasure.
I spoke to Mr. Conti. Mr. Conti, you have some words on this ordinance?
Yeah, I'd like to make a motion to table it because we did receive a letter from the Public Safety Director, and he would like to come in and talk to us why we shouldn't, make a second motion on this. So I would like to hear him and see what he has to say before we go ahead and do a second reading on this. I believe he's coming in next week.
Next Thursday.
Next Thursday.
That probably would be, just for public, that probably would be a closed session, because it does deal with personnel. But we did receive a letter from Public Safety Director Dominio. He had advised of an earlier email which said, please let us know so we can come in. I know I did not receive that, Pete did not receive that, Mayor, I don't know how it did not get to anybody. But certainly, we would have liked to have had this discussion before the introduction at that May meeting. So, better late than never. So both the chief of police and the public safety director would like to discuss this with us in terms of how this would or would not affect the daily operation of the police force. Certainly, we'd like to listen to their input. So we will be having a meeting with them next week at our special meeting on June 12th. So is there a motion to table?
I made the motion.
Motion to table by Mr. Conti, second by Mr. Camilleri. Let's take a roll call on this one.
Councilman Camilleri?
Yes.
Councilman Conti?
Yes.
Councilman Halco?
Yes.
Councilwoman Mazer?
Yes.
Council President Simuluk?
Yes.
It's tabled to the July 1st public hearing. First reading ordinance number 1573-14, an ordinance to allow for the vacation of a portion of Jefferson Street in the Township of Saddlebrook for first reading.
Is there a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Second by Mr. Halco. Roll call.
Councilman Camilleri?
Yes.
Councilman Conti?
Yes.
Councilman Halco?
Yes.
Councilwoman Mazer?
Yes.
Council President Simuluka?
Yes, please read the resolution.
Be it resolved by the Township Council of the Township of Saddlebrook that an ordinance to allow for the vacation of a portion of Jefferson Street in the Township of Saddlebrook, heretofore passed on first reading, be further considered for final passage at a meeting to be held on the first day of July 2014 at 7:00 p.m. or soon thereafter as the matter can be reached at the Municipal Building, 93 Market Street, and that at such time and place all persons interested be given an opportunity to be heard concerning said ordinance according to law, with the notice of its introduction and passage on first reading, and of a time and place when and where said ordinance will be further considered for final passage.
We have a motion.
I'll make a motion.
Mr. Halco?
Second.
Ms. Mazer, roll call.
Councilman Camilleri?
Yes.
Councilman Conti?
Yes.
Councilman Halco?
Yes.
Councilwoman Mazer?
Yes.
Council President Simuluka?
Yes.
Ordinance number 3, ordinance 1574-14, a capital ordinance of the Township of Saddlebrook and the County of Bergen, New Jersey, authorizing the undertaking of barrier-free improvements to polling places at various public buildings in by and for the Township of Saddlebrook, appropriating therefore the sum of $106,250, and providing that such sum so appropriated shall be raised from a federal grant for first reading.
Is there a motion?
I'll make
Mr. Conti Beecher.
second.
Mr. Halco is the second. Roll call.
Councilman Camilleri?
Yes.
Councilman Conti?
Yes.
Councilman Halco?
Yes.
Councilwoman Mazer?
Yes.
Council President Simuluka?
Please read the resolution.
Be resolved by the Township Council of the Township of Saddlebrook that a capital ordinance of the Township of Saddlebrook in the County of Bergen, New Jersey, authorizing the undertaking of barrier-free improvements to polling places at various public buildings in by and for the Township, appropriating therefore the sum of $106,250, and providing that such a sum so appropriated shall be raised from a federal grant, heretofore passed on first reading, be further considered for final passage at a meeting to be held on the first day of July 2014 at 7:00 p.m. or as soon thereafter as the matter can be reached at the Municipal Building at 93 Market Street, and that at such time and place all persons interested be given an opportunity to be heard concerning said ordinance according to law, with the notice of its introduction and passage on first reading, and of the time and place when and where said ordinance will be further considered for final passage.
Have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Ms. Mazer, second by Mr. Halco. Roll call?
Councilman Camilleri?
Yes.
Councilman Conti?
Yes.
Councilman Halco?
Yes.
Councilwoman Mazer?
Yes.
Council President Simulova?
Yes. Okay, we're just going to take a brief break to